Ningxia is the least visited province in China, and today we are going to discover it. Shanghai has two airports. This is the smaller airport, which is called Hongqiao Airport. Off the beaten tourist track, Ningxia is a small province in the wild and sparsely populated northwest of China. The provincial capital and our first destination is the city of Yinchuan. Let's take a look at it. As we can see, the city of Yinchuan has a sort of miniature Tiananmen Square. The first thing to say about Ningxia is that it is not just any province. Ningxia is an autonomous region. There are in total 5 provinces that are autonomous regions in China. And all of these autonomous regions are autonomous regions because there is a significant ethnic minority in each of them. These 5 autonomous regions are Tibet, whose minority are the Tibetans, Xinjiang, whose minority are the Uyghurs, Inner Mongolia, the Mongols, Guangxi province, which has the Yuan minority, and this province, Ningxia, which has the Hui minority. Being an autonomous region implies that the region has some degree of self-government, and that self-government has to be in the hands of the ethnic minority that is significant in that province. Actually, the only autonomous region whose significant minority exceeds 50% of the regional population is Tibet, which Tibetans make up 90%. But in the rest of the other 4 autonomous regions, the Han are in the majority. However, this is because, especially in the provincial capitals, the Han are usually in the majority. However, in small towns, such as in Wuyong City, where I made a video, or in villages, the corresponding minority does tend to be in the majority. Yinchuan is famous for being the city that Genghis Khan wanted to conquer before he died. In fact, Genghis Khan died in the south of Ningxia province, not far from its capital. Also, this city is famous for being the capital of the ancient Ningxia dynasty, which we will talk about later. Ningxia is an extremely arid province. It is almost desert-like, as we will see in the next places we will go, and has traditionally been a border area. Ningxia is the 3rd least populated province in China, only after Tibet and Xinhai. It has only 6 million inhabitants, and that's because Western China is very sparsely populated, unlike the East, which is overpopulated. The city of Yinchuan is protected by a natural barrier, which are the Helan Mountains, which are located about 50 kilometers north of the city. And they are not just any mountains, they are full of secrets and have a great history. These mountains have traditionally served as a shield for China to defend against nomadic tribes, and has peaks of up to 3,600 meters in altitude. This mountain range has a lot of wildlife, including leopards, but they are very elusive. It is very difficult to see them. I believe this is the scariest cable car in all of China, but it has incredible views. Definitely advise. If you come to China, visit the Helan Mountains. Don't go to the super touristy, crowded places that have tour guides with megaphones blaring their horns. Come to places like this. Much better, less crowded, cheaper. If you look, all the cable cars that pass by have no people. It's practically empty here. At the foot of the Helan Mountains is one of the most mysterious monumental complexes in China. A total of 250 mausoleums built 800 to 1,000 years ago. are spread over an area of 50 square kilometers. These mausoleums were built by the legendary Tangut people. The mausoleums were not exactly small, as they had a whole complex surrounding them, as we can see in the ruins that have been left to us. And there are some that are smaller, such as this one behind here. It will be about 5 meters high or nothing more. Ningxia province was an independent kingdom for 2 centuries, from the 11th century to the 13th century. And the dynasty that ruled it was called the Ningxia dynasty. And this dynasty was not ruled by Han Chinese people, but by an ethnic group called the Tangut. Not much is known about the Tangut. It is known that they came from the Tibetan plateau, that their major religion was Buddhism, and that they had their own language. Genghis Khan himself died while trying to conquer the kingdom of the Ningxia, and although he did not succeed, his successors did. In the 13th century, the Ningxia kingdom was incorporated into the Mongol Empire. Here we have some tablets with the writing used by the Tangut, which had characters similar to Chinese, but not exactly the same. To make these mountains even more epic, there is a rocky area where there are prehistoric engravings. In this area, there are tens of thousands of petroglyphs, which are between 4,000 and 10,000 years old. We move now to the south to the city of Songwei, a small city of 1 million inhabitants that you probably did not know, but it has a place that you are going to flip it. We are in the city of Songwei, which is the second largest city in this province, Ningxia province, and has about 1 million inhabitants. Mostly I came here because it seems to have one of the most incredible temples in China, which is the Gao Miao Temple. Songwei is a city that often appears on lists of China's most livable cities. To that contributes to the fact that it is not a big city. In addition, being far away from the factory areas, it is a city without pollution, which is very rare in these parts. It also has a rather relaxed and idle atmosphere.